Hey everyone, it's Dr. Steven here. It's been so great to get to know you guys and the introductions in the class, and I hope you enjoyed the Sitz im Leben video. I don't have my silly hat on. Oh, wait a minute. I do have my silly hat. It's up here on the top of my bookshelf where I keep it. A couple of you asked me about it. This is a hat that I got in Bavaria, southern Germany, about 25 years ago. We were with our kids in Europe, and as I mentioned, my wife's half German, and we've spent a lot of time over there. And I bought this hat, and I got two little cool hat pins with feathers in them at the time. And then I realized that people collect those hat pins, and they put them on their hats. And so I started everywhere in the world I would go, I'd get a hat pin. And then before long, my niece and even a couple of students I had, when they would travel, they got me a couple of the hat pins. Consequently, I think there's over 100 hat pins on this thing, and it weighs like 10 pounds. So I don't wear it much. In fact, I only wear it for Sitz im Leben videos, to be honest with you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that little prop that I used to describe that very important concept. So the discussions, I want to talk about them just for a moment, because it's been delightful getting in there and interacting with you guys. There's a couple of you that haven't really jumped into the discussion threads, and so I just want to make this statement. It's one of the primary ways that an online class is able to have full credit like a face-to-face class at a university. And so this week, this first week, I'm considering kind of a gimme week. Everybody gets full credit. I am not grading the discussion post from this point on for word count, or I'm not grading your grammar or those kind of things or anything. I'm giving full credit if you jump in and robustly have a post and then respond to somebody else's post. I just want to see a lively back and forth, and everybody weekly will get full credit for it. So I just want you to jump in. Along with that, this is a large class. There are 30 students, and so the way the university handles that is the computer program, Blackboard, has automatically divvied you guys up into 3 discussion groups of 10 people each. And so starting this week, our second week, you're going to be in a discussion group with 9 other people, 10 of you total, which is going to be a lot easier for back and forth than if it were 30 people. And so hopefully that'll just help you. The previous week, everybody was involved so that we could all meet one another with our introductions and all of that. So again, we have 2 books. We have Understanding Scripture by Wayne Grudem that I spoke about, and then my dear friend Glenn Powell's great book, Saving the Bible from Ourselves. And we'll start working on those readings. And in a few weeks' time, you're going to have the first of 2 reflection papers that are due, and I want to talk about them just a moment. There are 2 of them total by the end of the semester. They're 3 to 5 pages long, double-spaced, of course. And I know that you haven't read the books, or you've only read a chapter or 2, and so at the end of the 3rd week, the first reflection paper is due, because this is an accelerated 7-week course. Well, first of all, it doesn't matter which book you choose. You can turn in a reflection paper on either one first, and then the second one will be due at the end of the 5th week. But I just want to talk a little bit about it. Don't worry that you haven't read it all. All you're going to do is for the first half, let's say the first page and a half of your paper, you're going to just tell me about the structure of the book and what the purpose of the book was. And you can catch that from looking at the table of contents and the intro and maybe the couple of chapters that you've read. And then the second half of the reflection paper, the last page and a half, if you will, you just need to grab something from what you have read thus far, in whichever book you're writing the paper on, and just expound a little bit about how it impacted you. Before you know it, it'll be done. A 3-page, 3.5-page paper like that, double-spaced, doesn't take any time at all to do. And if you really do need some extra time, or there's some challenges, just email me and we'll make that work. So don't worry about it at all. I need to apologize to you about this week's video. The reason is because I probably should have somehow changed the schedule to put my first interview with Glenn Powell somehow on last week's, and I didn't. So consequently, this week you've got several little videos to watch, but I think you'll enjoy them. The first is my interview with Glenn Powell, and this was done in my basement. Actually, it was done about 1.5 years ago, I think, at this point. And so it was done for the first time I taught this class, And subsequently, we've been using these videos for every time I've taught this same class, Intro to the Bible. And this is like my 9th or 10th time teaching this course in the last few years. So you'll watch that video, and one of the questions on the discussion thread relates to both the video and the early readings in Powell's book. The second video is actually 2 videos, but it's really one longer video I had to cut in half. I did it here in my study, and it was just a little too long for me to upload to my YouTube channel, so I had to cut it right in half. So it's genre part 1 and genre part 2. You'll see that I'm wearing the same clothes, and it's literally just cut in half. And the whole thing is 14 minutes or something long. If you don't have the time to watch it at normal speed, you know, in YouTube you can go to settings and you can pick 1.25 or even 1.5, and you can still hear me talk, and it just takes a little less time if you need to do that. I should probably have redone that genre video, but I haven't, because I was really pleased with the way that it turned out. And it was a couple of years ago that I did it, and I say that for 2 reasons. One is a clarification, and the other is vanity. The vanity one is that in the last 2 years I've lost 25 pounds, and that video shows me at my heavier point, so I probably should redo it. But beyond the vanity, the other reason is, do you remember a couple of years ago when there was that solar eclipse, complete solar eclipse of the sun that was visible in some parts of the United States? Well, I make an example of that with regard to kind of kooky eschatology and end times prophecy when I'm talking about prophetic literature. I just make a sentence or 2 about it in the video, but I want you to know that that was from a couple of years ago. So watch the Glenn Powell interview video, watch the 2-part genre video, which will be the guide for our other discussion question. Let's jump in. Let's have a great week. And I look so forward to seeing how God is going to use this course in your life, and how God's going to use us in each other's lives. So the Lord bless you. Let's have a great week.